On today's episode of America Unfiltered with James Pascalides, we'll talk about topics like USAID, we'll talk about the Department of Justice indicting someone on espionage, we'll talk a lot about Elon Musk and the Department of Government Efficiency and how the government is trying to do everything they can to stop him from cutting their spending, and we'll also talk about Donald Trump eliminating parts of ISIS. All that and much more coming up on episode 19 of America Unfiltered with James Pascalides, starting now.
The moment is here. This is our moment.
America, we are back, baby. Welcome to another episode of America Unfiltered with James Pascalides. This is episode 19. I already talked to you guys about my topics today. I want to dive on into them. I want to talk about USAID. I want to talk about a couple of their questionable expenditures, what they're spending money on. So Elon Musk cut the funding for this, and our government is currently freaking out. There was actually a hearing yesterday within our government about this topic. They talked about how, in their perspective, they think cutting this program will cut necessary funding in the government in the United States and different aid we give throughout the world. But what this organization is actually fairly corrupt. So I want to talk about it. I'm going to dive in by talking about a few of the things they waste money on, and then we'll go into some of the more corrupt part even after. As corrupt as the stuff they spend their money on, they're a lot more corrupt than they seem when you really dive into it. But so they spend $1.5 million of our taxpayer money to promote diversity, equity, and inclusion in Serbia. Pointless. Every time I read one of these, I'm going to ask you guys, and I'm going to think to myself, how does this help the American people? So $70,000 to produce a DEI musical in Ireland. I'm sure Conor McGregor loved that. I don't understand how that helps people in America, though. $2.5 million allocated for electric vehicles in Vietnam. Again, how is this helping anybody in America? It just does not make sense. So then you have $6 million to fund tourism initiatives in Egypt. Okay, like more people to go see the pyramids, it's great, but where does it help Americans? Well, that $6 million could be so much better spent on our veterans, on our citizens in this country. It's our taxpayer dollars that they're spending to fund tourism in Egypt. They had $1 million directed toward the Wuhan Lab. So USAID gave $1 million directed to the people who started the pandemic that our government let, with a ton of overreach, shut down the entire country for, the entire world. It's absolutely despicable. It's despicable that they allow this to happen. They had $50 million allocated to condom distribution in Gaza, $9 million in aid allegedly supposed to reach terrorists. Like, what? I thought we're trying to help Americans with this. Why are we trying to hurt America? Why are we trying to hurt people? Even if the terrorists aren't planning to hurt Americans, why is USA funding terrorism? Why are government organizations funding these terrible, terrible things? Why are they, I don't know, I mean, like $1 million to help disabled people in Tajikistan. Like, what? Like, what is this government agency? I'm so grateful and so glad that Elon Musk cut their funding. He pretty much took every employee, locked them out of their systems. I'll talk about more of the Department of Government Efficiency and what Elon Musk is doing soon, but I think it's pretty corrupt and insane how they've gotten away with this. And then I also want to touch on another subject, Politico, which is a huge news media outlet in the United States. They had their first day where their employees missed a paycheck. And people were curious, how'd that happen? Was it just a error in their payment system? No, they were funded by USAID. So U.S. government money was funding U.S. media. That is propaganda. So if people think that there was no ties of, you can't say this, you have to say this, that's corruption. It's insane that they're getting away with this. And it makes me personally upset. I know it makes a lot of Americans upset. It made Elon Musk upset, Donald Trump upset, enough that they shut this organization's funding down. And I'm very glad of that. But for them to be funding all these terrible things in other countries that do not benefit the U.S. taxpayer in any way, and almost don't really benefit. Like, what does a DEI musical in Ireland benefit? Who does that benefit? Who does electric cars in Vietnam? Like, I don't get any of these things. How are U.S. taxpayer dollars benefiting U.S. taxpayers by spending them on other countries' citizens to pay for things that don't even matter, things that our government is currently trying to get rid of, like DEI? It's garbage. It's trash. I don't understand our government or our previous administration's obsession with DEI. I don't understand our government agency's obsession with it, and I don't understand the continuous obsession to spend the taxpayers' money on wasteful things. It makes me sad to see that our government is so poor at handling their finances that it takes someone like Elon Musk to step in and fix it. What Elon Musk is doing with the Department of Government Efficiency, I've talked to you guys about this a little bit before, but he's currently under a lot of fire. Right now, Elon Musk, with 6 employees, so only 6 employees working about 24/7 in-house, kids aged 19 to 24 years old, some of the best programmers, coders in the world, some of the smartest people, and right now they're cutting our government spending nonstop. That's all they're tasked to do, and our government is trying to stop them. Why do you think our government's trying to stop them? They're trying to stop them because they want to keep the corruption going. They want to keep on with their pet projects. There have been multiple lawsuits filed to prevent Elon Musk from accessing Federal Treasury Department's payment systems, citing privacy concerns, but Elon Musk has already time and time again assured Donald Trump, assured the American people, if there's any conflicts of interest with his government contracts versus the work he's doing in the government, he will put himself to the side and let someone else make any decision on that. And Elon Musk has no reason to want to take our data, our money. Elon Musk is someone who has continuously promoted freedom, free speech, just all the things that America was founded on. Elon Musk, in so many ways, represents what America should be trying to do. Just the vision he has is great. Like I've said, I think Elon Musk is one of the smartest people in our world. I think we should be really thankful that he's in this generation. It shouldn't be something that our government is working so hard against him. Our government is nonstop working to stop the Department of Government Efficiency, and it's right there in the name, Department of Government Efficiency. Our government isn't efficient. Elon Musk is trying to make it efficient. So for our government to continuously try and stop him, it's just wrong. I want to go on to our next topic with you guys. I want to pop up a video for you guys, actually. This is a Karoline Leavitt, the new press secretary. We'll watch this video right here real quick.
We are 2 weeks in, and President Trump is already delivering big wins for the American people. Let's go through the facts. On the border, President Trump declared a national emergency, deployed the military, ended catch and release, and reinstated Remain in Mexico. And already, illegal crossings are down 95%. We are resuming construction of the border wall, and Colombia's president is now offering his own plane for deportation of illegal Colombian immigrants. On the economy and energy, President Trump unleashed American energy, declared a national energy emergency, and killed Joe Biden's radical electric vehicle mandate. Wall Street is booming, AI investments skyrocketed to $500 billion, and there's $20 billion flowing into U.S. data centers across our country. President Trump is restoring law and order. He labeled the drug cartels as foreign terrorist organizations, and he is deporting criminal illegal aliens, and he signed the Laken Riley Act into law. Draining the swamp, President Trump signed more than 45 executive orders. DEI has been purged from the government and our military, and lazy federal workers have been ordered back to the office. And when it comes to free speech and transparency, President Trump took 12 times more press questions than Joe Biden did in a week, reinstated 440 silenced journalists to the press room, and ended government censorship. Promises made, promises kept, and we're just getting started.
I want to just highlight the biggest difference is that Donald Trump, in a 2-week span, answered 12 times more questions than Joe Biden did in 2 full years. 2 full years is over 700 days. So in over 700 days, Donald Trump answered more questions than Joe Biden did in that time in 14. In 14 days. That's insane. It just goes to show how it goes to show that Joe Biden wasn't really our president. Something most of us knew. He was elected president, but whoever was running the country is still a mystery. Probably White House senior officials. Should be a crime that even happened. I don't think we should be able to elect a president who's not able to fully say his own name. And then, I don't know. As much as I respect the office of the president, I really think there should be an asterisk next to Joe Biden's name. And also beyond that, banning 400 journalists from the media room. The Trump administration has added new seats and brought all those journalists back. But to have a corrupt media room the same way your whole political organization and party is corrupted is just terrible. It goes to show that Joe Biden and the Democrats didn't care what the American people have to think. They don't care what they have to say, and they don't care about getting them the truth. They care about having what they want to say given to their friends in the media, not people who aren't their friends in the media, but just their friends in the media who are going to report exactly how they want to report. I really think as time goes on and as Elon Musk keeps on with the Department of Government Efficiency, we're going to find out the majority of these news channels are probably government funded, in my opinion. They're way too biased to not be. Even the Republican ones, the Democrat ones, I'd imagine they all get some funding. So I'm very excited for that to continue too. I'm excited, like I said, for the future. I love Karoline Leavitt. I love Donald Trump. I love everything they're doing. That video right there, I think it just goes to show what America is trying to do and what America should be doing. Like I've said before, that is what I expect from every single president when they get in office. I expect them to immediately be signing executive actions, be trying to better the country for American taxpayers. It's a disgrace to the country when presidents get in and they either spend the majority of their presidency on vacation not doing work, or they're just dancing around the media, or they're just doing it for fame and money, whatever it is. But Donald Trump is not doing this for fame or money. Donald Trump is doing this because he cares about the American people. He stood through multiple assassination attempts to be able to be here to cut funding for the American people and make our lives better. Donald Trump is and will be the greatest president this country has seen, in my opinion. I really think Donald Trump's picks for the cabinet and for just the government in general were great. Pam Bondi is one of my favorites. And I want to show you guys this clip of Pam Bondi on Fox News right here.
Well, we know he was on the plane, not only on the plane a couple times, multiple times. He traveled internationally with Jeffrey Epstein. And he was on the plane called the Lolita Express because it supposedly had a bed in there where Jeffrey Epstein had young girls. He has been a friend of his, a continuing friend of his for years and years. Contrast that with Donald Trump, who hasn't spoken to him in many years, over a decade, after he kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago for bad behavior. So that's the difference there. And I think Americans see the two-tier justice system. But, you know, we don't know. They're saying Clinton has not been to his private island, but he has traveled all over the world with Jeffrey Epstein. I want to know why AG Garland and the Justice Department are so quiet on this tonight. You know, they're out there labeling parents domestic terrorists, yet they're saying nothing about this. And these documents were so slow to come out. Human trafficking is a multi-billion-dollar business in this country, and Jeffrey Epstein is dead, and Ghislaine Maxwell is in prison for 20 years where she belongs. And if people in that report are still fighting to keep their names private, Sean, they have no legal basis to do so unless they're a child, a victim, or a cooperating defendant by some chance against some potential case against Ghislaine Maxwell. And I think Mark Garagos, as a great criminal defense attorney, will back that up as well.
I love that they're calling for the release of the Epstein files. I said this in an episode a few episodes ago. I said that now that they said that the JFK, MLK, and RFK files will be getting declassified, as they should have been, that also the Epstein files should, like, why haven't those been released yet? The Diddy, as more information comes out on the Diddy case too, that's just as important. That should not be put away to the side either. But sticking on the Epstein list, it's Pam Bondi is called for the release of the full Epstein list, unredacted of any names. I 100% support this, as do most Americans. I think if you're an American and do not support the release of the Epstein list, you are either guilty on it or I can't see any other reason you wouldn't want it out there. So anyone in the government trying to push against this, I will question every single person who pushes against this. I will watch this as closely as possible, but I really think that we're on the verge of getting that Epstein list. I think it will shake up the world politics. I think a lot more people than we realize are involved, a lot more Americans, a lot more non-Americans. And the more information we find about Jeffrey Epstein as well, it will give a lot of insight into how he made all his money. What really happened? Was he supplying these girls and not telling people that they were underage and then blackmailing them? Were they going there to willingly have sex with minors? There's a ton of unanswered questions. The majority of Americans have speculation and conspiracy theories, but just cold hard facts are what we need. And Pam Bondi is calling for this. So I love that Trump's picks are calling, like I said, not only for the releasal of the full Epstein list, but completely unredacted too. I think the unredacted part is one of the most important things. If you redact names off there, it just draws it makes me question things. If I see a redacted name on there, I'm really going to try and guess who it is. And my guesses aren't going to be as good as if you just put the name on paper. So I really think before there's more speculation around the globe, I do think Pam Bondi's right that just unredacted, releasing the list is the best possible move for the American people. There's another big thing happening around the world now. As most Americans know, we have sent a plethora of money to Ukraine to fund this war that's going on between Ukraine and Russia. I don't think the U.S. should have been sending any money to Ukraine. But we're going to go over a video of Zelensky talking to the media right now, and then we'll pick it apart after. But this is a terrible, terrible video.
Дивіться, я коли чую, і раніше чув, і сьогодні ми чуємо від Сполучених Штатів Америки, що Америка дала Україні сотні мільярдів, 177, якщо сказати більш точно. Така звучала точна цифра, яку підтримували або голосував Конгрес, тощо різні організації. Дивіться, я як президент воюючої країни вам говорю, ми отримали більше 75. Тобто 100 мільярдів з цих 177, або 200, говорять навіть деякі люди, ми ніколи не отримували. І це важливо. Бо ми говоримо про конкретні речі, бо ми отримали це не грошима, а зброєю. Ми зброю отримали на 70 з чимось мільярдів. Є навчання, тренування, є додатковий транспорт, є не тільки ціну на зброю, були гуманітарні програми, соціальні тощо. Але коли говорять, що Україна під час війни отримала 200 мільярдів на підтримку армії тощо, це неправда. Я не знаю, де всі ці гроші.
I'll tell you where the money is. It's sitting in bureaucrats' pockets. It got laundered. This is what conservatives have been screaming from the hilltops since we started sending money to Ukraine. When you send money overseas like this, most of it doesn't make it. Most of it ends up in the pockets of bureaucrats, government officials, and just middlemen along the way who have their hands in every single pocket. I really think it's corrupt that the U.S. has sent $200 billion taxpayer dollars to fund a war in Ukraine that shouldn't have even happened. If Donald Trump was in office, if he got elected in 2020, the war literally would have never happened. Donald Trump stopped Putin from invading Ukraine during his first presidency. And again, the second Trump left office, Putin went for it. So I really disagree with the premise of us sending money there in the first place. Conservatives have been screaming forever that no way all the money is even making it there, and it hasn't. From the horse's mouth himself, from Zelensky, he's received $77 billion of the $200 billion we've sent. Are you kidding me? Like, that is insane. The U.S., the Department of Government Efficiency is so absolutely necessary. It's insane. This right here is all the proof you need to show the Department of Government Efficiency is what we need in this country. But to send $200 billion and have over half of it, no one can say where it is for sure. What? Well, like, the IRS wouldn't allow that if it was my money. If I send a $601 Venmo to my friend, I get audited by the IRS. But if we mess up sending 200 billion to Ukraine and they only get 70 billion of it, and the other 130 billion is just floating in the air in people's pockets, oh, who cares? That's our government in a nutshell. That's why we need Donald Trump. That's why we need Elon Musk. That's why we need a complete redo of what our government currently looks like. I think we have a great system, but it was filled with terrible people, and we're currently getting those terrible people out of our system. America is the greatest country in the world, but for it to be so filled with just wasteful spending, negligence, and just general theft it goes against everything America stands for. It's not patriotic, and it pisses me off. I'm sure it pisses the majority of Americans off as well. It's despicable that our government is getting away with this. I don't know what else much to say about that. As more information comes on it, if it does, I will keep you guys updated. But I doubt they're ever going to give us an answer on where the 130 billion went. Why would they? They could just get away with it by not answering, and they know that, because that's what our American government has continuously done just over time. They'll lie, and that's why we need a president like Donald Trump to continue to hold them accountable. I want to end today. I want to show you guys one last video. This is a video Donald Trump put up after he took out an ISIS cave. So I'm going to play this video for you guys, and then I'm going to talk about it for a second before we sign off today. That's crazy to see our president posting kill shot videos, or Killcam videos, like this is Call of Duty. So that right there was Donald Trump executing ISIS members who were planning attacks on America. I am so supportive of this, and I am so supportive of Donald Trump not only taking out the ISIS members with these missiles or drones or however he did it, but posting the video of it on his Twitter account. So or on his X account, what he does by posting this video is it's not directed at the American people. It's not showing them, hey, we have a president who's just going to post all the people he kills. It's saying that, hey, if you're a terrorist out there, if you're a different world leader and you're looking to start something with the United States, think about it. It's not going to end well for you. Like I've talked about in previous episodes, we have a military budget bigger than most countries. We have a military that could get troops on the ground within 24 hours anywhere. We have a military that could decimate the vast majority of nations who wanted to test us. So I think Trump letting ISIS know and letting the world know that if there's any terrorists out there who want to test us, want to test him, go for it. It's not going to work for you. It's not going to work out how you think it is. You are going to get bombed in a cave by a drone you can't even see because it's above the clouds. I really think Donald Trump is bringing America back. He's making it great again. He's showing everyone that we are the strongest country on the planet, that we are willing to put Americans first, American taxpayers first. We're not willing to let the bureaucrats continue to rob us. We're not going to allow our just disgraced government employees continue to steal from the American people. We are going to continue to fight, fight, fight. So I'm James Pascalides. This is episode 19 of America Unfiltered. I'm signing off today. I hope you all have a blessed day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.